What's good? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. Today we're going to be talking about Baki. Talking with my producer best friend, he got advised to watch Baki on Netflix. So we became aware that there is Baki and then there's Baki Hanma. I am talking about Baki, which started in 2018, wrapped up in 2020. So I am looking at that for the first time. And upon watching the first few episodes, my main thought was, where's all the Baki fans at? Because my algorithms on social media is pretty well tuned, right? So I see Dragon Ball fans, I see fans of Jujutsu Kaisen, I see fans of Attack on Titan, I see fans of Hunter x Hunter, I see fans of all kinds of different animes all the time. And I hear people arguing about power levels and who would beat who, but no one ever mentions Baki. So when I watched those first few episodes, I was so captivated with them. And the title of this video was intended to be, where are all the Baki fans at? But since I'm recording this at the conclusion of me watching the entire series from 2018 to 2020, it's part 1, 2, and 3 of Baki, I think I know what happened to the Baki fans. They don't really exist because that show did not come together well. So as I watched them, my question kind of went more from where are all the Baki fans at to where is Baki at? This is a very weird series. You know, you look at about 7 or 8 episodes in that first part and you're like, man, this is a damn good anime. This should be way more popular. But as the series continues and you get different parts and new characters being introduced and familiar characters get pulled out, and it's like, what is going on with the focus of this show? Because you start off with being introduced to Baki and you're introduced to Kozue, you learn about Yujiro, his dad, and that weird situation, that weird dynamic, and all that stuff is existing. But then you get other people like Mr. Oliver. You get to spend a lot of time with Doppo Orochi. You get to spend a lot of time with Kaio Retsu. You get to spend a lot of time with other people that aren't Baki, and that's the part of it that really throws me off about the series. It makes me wonder, why did they write things this way? That is my main concern. Like, why is the show called Baki and it talks so much about being the world's strongest, but then when you get to the actual nitty-gritty of it all, it's like Baki is not the world's strongest because his dad is. And as a character, he comes across a lot like Saitama to me from One Punch Man because he's so aloof. Like, I really don't care about all this stuff that everybody else cares about. But I thought it was setting up in a way to where we would get more from our main character, and we just don't get that much from Baki. So that's one issue that I take with the show. You know, we call it Baki, but we don't spend a lot of time with Baki. And then you go on to like see these characters dip in and out. So I'll use Mr. Oliver. Biscuit Oliver jumps in at the end of part 1, right? Then you get into part 2 and it's heavy on the Oliver. Like, he is the main guy that you spend time with episode after episode until about the end of part 2. And then you don't see much of him for a long time. And when he does pop back up, it's real inexplicable ways that he pops up. So after his introduction, I think he takes like a 3 or 4 episode hiatus. And in that 3 or 4 episodes, somebody mentions like, oh, he got hit by an asteroid and he's done. Like, he got hit by a meteor and he's out of here. And you go multiple episodes after that and you don't get anything from him, and to the point where I was almost concerned, like, yo, did they really just kill off a character that they spent so much time with? They killed him off just like that, off screen like that? That's crazy. And then when he does come back into the frame, it's like there's no explanation as to where he have been, what you've been up to, what been going on with you these last few episodes. You don't really get any of that information. That's not only the case for Biscuit Oliver, that's the case for a lot of the characters in the show. People come in and people go out, and there's no explanation as to where they've been or what they're doing. And listen, all that writing stuff aside, I don't think that the writing of the actual dialogue and the writing of the characters is bad. You know, I feel like it's all pretty good. It still amounts to a good, fun experience, and I am intrigued, and I'm gonna start watching Baki Hanma today. Actually, I'll watch episode 1 and finish that series up, and then come back and report on it and see if it sways me any, because I've read that it is related to the Baki series that ended in 2020. So I'm intrigued enough to keep watching and to follow the story along to see if things shape up differently in Baki Hanma, that story. Because from what I understand, there's 3 different iterations of the adaptation of Baki from the manga. So I think there's Baki the Grappler or something like that came out a long time back. Then you get Baki the 2018 to 2020 series. And then now we're getting Baki Hanma, which season 2 of that just dropped this weekend, I believe, via Netflix. Listen, animation style is cool. I like it. The themes of it with being the strongest and all these weird, very intricate, very detailed fighting techniques. That stuff is dope. I really enjoyed all the fights and all that stuff. But the writing of some of the things that go on, like the fact that they introduce you to Muhammad Ali as in such a weird way, and then the character of Muhammad Ali Jr. being such a awkward character, the relationship with Kozue starting the way it started and then kind of fizzling out toward the end of the series is like, it feels very strange. The emotions were very strong at the outset of things, and now you get to the end and it's like, man, what happened? Y'all are falling off in a way that I did not expect, and it is truly inexplicable. I don't know, man. When I first started watching the Baki series, my thought was Baki is pretty damn good. But by the time I got to the end of Baki and seeing the way characters come and go without any explanation, seeing the way relationships change without any explanation, seeing things that are really emphasized at one point of the storytelling, only for that event to like come and go and have no consequences. Like, I think Baki goes from pretty damn good, past good, to just being all right. You know, it's cool enough, it's all right. If you ain't got nothing else to watch, throw on some Baki episodes and they'll be cool and you'll have a good time with it. But to say, man, top tier animation deserves a whole bunch of fandom, everybody's clamoring to watch this, I kind of don't feel like it after watching the way things go. And there's so many examples I can use. Like, I think about the fact that this series hooked me because they talked about these 5 incredible death row inmates that broke out all to go to Tokyo so they could taste defeated. And none of them were defeated by Baki. None of them were really defeated by Baki. They were all taken out by different characters. And you get the implication that most of these guys are dead, but no, you get at the end of the whole series, there's a little tag like all 5 of them are alive and seemingly well and learning how to be even more dangerous with all the different injuries that they've taken. You know, one of them lost his sight and his hearing, but his sense of touch is incredible. One of them lost half of his face, I believe, in a fight with Dopo Orochi. You got the other guy who was beaten senseless by Retsu, and he's now like in jail mentally, just not there, and he's just painting pictures of candy, and it's like, man, y'all hooked me with this. Like, y'all really got me in with this, and now it's an afterthought. It's nothing important at all. It's weird. I didn't like the way that everything kind of shook out with that. Again, the relationship with Kozue going from I don't ever want to leave your side to I'm open to marrying Muhammad Ali Jr. And then once you beat him down, like, I'll embrace him while he's crying. Like, this is weird. Like, it's weird. I didn't care for everything that they did with it. Again, even the Raitai tournament, like the Raitai tournament in part 3 appeared to be this big thing. And the way the tournament ended was just so unceremonious. Like, Baki only fought one time in that thing. And it just didn't, to me, come together well at all. I thought that the show could have been better, much, much better, if they chose to do things in a different way. Whatever, man. I'm gonna watch Baki Hanma and see if things come together. Let me know your thoughts on Baki and Baki Hanma, and if you think the anime is worth more fandom, like should it have more fans? That was my initial thought. But after watching things shake out in parts 1, 2, and 3 of Baki, I was like, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe things will change in Baki Hanma and I'll jump back on the bandwagon. But that's for another video. Let me know your thoughts. That's all I have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something